Hello and hoy hoy, and welcome to another episode, another installment of Tootie's, what is it called? Tootie's Toy Box. I am, of course, your host, Miss Tootie Odin. It is lovely to be here this week. I hope you guys had a wonderful week last week, a wonderful weekend. I myself was introduced to somebody I have been waiting to meet for the last 9 months, and that is my niece, who was born excuse me, on January 31st, and I couldn't be happier. I'm over the moon. My entire family is actually over the moon with her presence, and she's just the sweetest little squeaky baby. So congratulations to my sister and my brother-in-law. They're going to do an excellent job as parents. They're already kicking ass. So congratulations to them. Other than that, exciting news. It hasn't been an extremely busy week. It's just been an extremely informative week, and a week of observation. If I'm being honest, so far, I experienced something this week, these last few days that I wanted to share with you guys, actually, because the irony in what I have to share with you is kind of funny and very much relatable to what we're going to talk about tonight, which is the Grammy Awards, which happened this past Sunday. Let me turn my phone down. I don't know how to do that without turning everything down. Hold on. There we go. I thought I did that, but I guess I didn't. Now, I know for a fact, nobody who's going to be watching this watched the Grammys initially. I think most of us watched clips. I didn't watch the entire show. Most of the time, I got to be honest with you guys, partially because I'm an old lady, and partially because I've always adored these shows. When they were good, right? Again, I used to work in the film industry, so a lot of these awards were something to watch because it was more of like a putting it in the air, like bring it to fruition kind of thing, and mainly just studying the videos and the movies and the dialogues and the lighting and the costuming and the casting and all the things that people get awards for, and understanding why they get why this particular movie got the award, and could they have done better? You know what I mean? I'm the best judge of all cinema, as we all know. So so that's basically where I find these types of awards show entertaining. That being said, they're not very popular anymore, especially since pandemic. Since pandemic, we kind of sort of seen the very giant slope of award shows just absolutely like dwindling in ratings. The same with sports events. Sports events have gone back up recently, but those couple of that year and a half or whatever it was, where there was a bunch of cardboard people behind in the seats and during sporting events, really brought the morale down for those events, and nobody wanted to watch. I think it's the same thing with these award shows. I think the entertainment value isn't worth our time when we now have YouTube and podcasts and comedy specials and all kinds of things, Netflix and whatnot, that we can stream just at our fingertips. So there's way too much going on. Even my own channel, which has a humble almost 50 subscribers. We have 49. Let's get to 50. And please don't unsubscribe, you guys. That's so weird. Be nice. Come on. So even my small channel is trying to compete with the vast majority of people who are all tuned into the same things, myself included. I don't necessarily watch popular things, but everybody that I do watch and everything that I do watch happens to be happens to have a community, a group of people that watch with me. So that being said, I don't think the Grammys are one of those things that people actually invest their time in anymore. I think most people just watched clips, and for whatever their reasons are, there's nefarious reasons for watching. I need to find out this. Who was there, this and that. And then there's the love of music and the love of certain artists that we want to see win. So there's that. So there's a very small group that is still watching it for its genuine reasons as to why they still do these shows. That's another thing. Commercial. Why do they still do these shows if nobody is watching? Why do they still do them? They know we're not watching. Why do they still do them? Anyway, just a question. Um, but I wanted to share something with you guys. I'm going to pull up the chat. I don't think anybody is here or in the chat right now, but I'm going to pull it up anyway. Why do? Hi, Mikey. I love it. I love that you're here. Thank you so much. That is great. That is the best comment ever. Why do? So I did experience something that, again, is actually relatable to the Grammys, believe it or not. The other day, I posted a comment on a random comedy video that I was watching. So I do happen to watch a lot of comedy. I happen to watch a lot of comedy, especially on YouTube. I also happen to watch a lot of comedy gossip and a lot of comedy commentary. I have a lot of comedian friends. I'm a stand up myself. I haven't done it in a little, almost hitting a year. I haven't done it in almost a year. So I probably shouldn't reach that year mark. Um, but I have my opinions. I have my opinions on the entire industry. Not all negative by any means. No, that would make me look silly to be a part of, to have the desire to want to be a part of an industry that's failing and all this other stuff. I don't think comedy is failing. I do think that there are some shortcuts that a lot of comedians are taking that are seen as brilliant comedy, like crowd work. Crowd work is a fun thing, and if you're a good comedian who knows how to do it, that's great. But that's not comedy. Crowd work is not comedy. Crowd work is me going up to somebody like, "Hey, so what do you do for a living?" "Oh yeah, that's your job. Oh my god," you know what I mean? Like that's really easy. It's really easy to do. Really easy to make jokes. Roasting, very brilliant form of comedy if it's done right, but a lot of times it's just you look like, that's why you look like, you know what I mean? So it's a lot of this stuff is very redundant and very basic now, and very hacky. The word in comedy is hacky. It's very hacky to do certain things, and there's only a handful of salt of the earth comics that are actually pointing these things out, and not just comments. I'm sorry, not just comedians, but commentators on comedy, commentators on comedians. One in particular posted a video about comedians who like to use the word fag a lot and the N word, the word nigga. They like to use, sometimes they use the hard R version. So he was talking about how he posted a video of somebody else talking about how comedians do this and how like it made him feel uncomfortable because it's like it wasn't even funny, it was just unnecessary. And I agree, 1,000% agree. You know, it's okay to be edgy and to use words. We comedians, words are valuable to a good comedic writer. They're very valuable to us. And when you try to take some away and you try to make something unfunny, it makes the job harder. It makes it more of a challenge, which a brilliant comedian would be able to do these things with or without those words. The shock value is what makes these things funny. And it's the only thing that makes things like this funny, to be honest. So when there's no shock value in it, it's just cruel and it's just mean and it's just hateful and it's not funny. First and foremost, and most importantly, it's just not funny. So I pointed that out, actually. I pointed out in a comment, and the person who was on his soapbox after posting somebody else's podcast and then commenting on on their podcast and reacting to what they had to say. So again, somebody else did all the work. All this person did was do commentary on it while they were posting somebody else's content. So his whole thing is people are using words in an unfunny way, and he was basically putting himself on a soapbox for it. So I responded in kind, or I commented basically. I commented, and again, I wasn't arguing with anybody. I was simply making a statement. I'm going to share that with you, and trust me, this is getting somewhere. I promise. Give me 1 second. I understand. I don't know why I said that. Just so you guys know, I'm not feeling good right now. There's something going on. There's something in there. I sort of feel a fever coming on, but that's okay. So I'm not sure how much of this you guys can actually see. But this is the very first comment that I put on there. I'm going to see if I can zoom in a little bit. Anyway, so the very first thing I commented on this post is the hard on for words on either side is fucking pathetic. It's hacky to say them for no reason, and it's just as hacky to pretend to be offended by them. So this person responded with, "What if I called you fat?" To which I responded, "Good one. You called a fat lady fat. Fucking profound. What if I called you a tryhard who just regurgitates unoriginal content?" And then I put something about the let's see who gets triggered first on that one. But it's like, first of all, he's talking about fighting words, and he's talking about fighting for words and the idea of not using them to hurt people's feelings. And my comment, mind you, did not speak ill of him, did not speak ill of his podcast, did not speak ill of the idea that these words are okay to say. All I said was it's hacky to do them in this manner, and it's also hacky to pretend to be mad about it. Clearly, I just made my fucking point. He's pretending to be mad about words that hurt people's feelings, and then he decides to call me fat because he wants to hurt my feelings. Now, mind you, he's not wrong. He's not wrong. That's not the point. Like, I get it, you guys. I gotta hit the gym. Anyway, so he says, so what does he say? He says, "It seems like a word triggered you. Your original point is void. Also, you failed at YouTube. I didn't. Doesn't matter what you say." Ooh, hitting the YouTube channel now, are we? So he says, "It seems like a word triggered you." First of all, no, the word didn't trigger me at all. I pointed that out. You called me fat. Like, you called somebody who looks in the mirror every day fat. I know. I know, guy. Like, and the thing is, I didn't warrant the attack. If I had started trolling him and his channel, I can see coming at me and easily hitting the low hanging fruit, which again, unoriginal. I mean, I don't know how much more you would expect from somebody who just reposts other people's content. And then on top of that, he starts talking about my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel has 49 subscribers, as I mentioned earlier. I just started this shit. Anyway, and here we go. I just started my channel, and I'm doing pretty damn good for not having to post other people's content for success. But go off, though, genius. He responds with, "Nobody cares about you. Hit the gym and go cry." Then I respond with, "Aw, I upset the unoriginal loser intimidated by a nothing YouTube channel." And that was that. So that was my little spit spat that I had with a YouTuber who only has 12,000 subscribers. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this person came at me for no reason, mind you. I didn't do shit. I was agreeing with him. Came at me with 12,000 people. The city of Norwalk has like 35,000 people, 45,000 people, 100,000 people. This guy just hit a neighborhood. This guy has a whole neighborhood following him. He has a whole ass neighborhood following him. Thinks he's big shit. Don't know when he started his channel. Don't care. As you can see, I'm not giving him any promo. I blocked out his name completely from every single one of these posts. Okay, here's why I bring this up. In my opinion, the people that fight the hardest for things that they really can't control. You know what? Let me close this. Hold on. How do I do this? Hide. Okay, I can do that. The people that fight the loudest and the hardest over righteous movements such as "Don't call me a faggot," "Don't call me a nigga," "Don't call me fat," "Don't call me a retard," "Don't call me an anti-Semite," "Don't call me a Nazi," "Don't call me a Jew," "Don't call me," all of these things, all of these words, they're just words. They're just words. All of these words that people want to fight for and pretend like they're so pissed, so mad. I'm so mad. Oh, I just hate that word so much. Are the same people that will easily turn around and use these words against you. I was actually looking at a video today of a white person who was talking to a black police officer. And this white person called this black police officer a house nigga. Oh, you're just a house nigga, aren't you? This is where we've come with woke culture. Again, I'm not preaching. I can kind of give two shits about woke culture. It's all a joke. The other side is just as a joke, just as much as a joke. The conservative side is just as funny, just as hypocritical. And we're all discovering that now, right? Everybody's on a soapbox fighting for something because it gives them attention, really. Not because they're passionate about the project that they're trying to fight for. Which brings me to the Grammy Awards. So the Grammy Awards this year had the biggest actually for the last couple of years. I think this is probably the main reason why these awards don't do so well, is because everybody has a message now. Everybody has something to say, everybody has something to stand for. Black Lives Matter, Asian Lives Matter, Me Too. Remember all the pins on the planet. These fucking Girl Scout cookie pins that they put on their things on display so that they can make sure everybody knows we're fighting, right? We're fighting. Give me 1 second. So these people are all fighting the cause for these people for the Grammy Awards were all fighting for the cause of ICE. They were all wearing these ICE out buttons. I'll show you here. Hold on. Oh, not that one. Not that one. Oh man. Okay. So there's the button right there. That's the button right there. ICE out. Get out of here, ICE. Don't disagree. I do not disagree. I think what our law enforcement, our ICE agents, and whatever the fuck you want to call them, these paid FBI psyops, these paid CIA psyop people. I don't know where the fuck they find these mummies, man. I really don't. But these guys, I don't disagree with the message. Like, that's enough. Like, stop it. They're not doing anything that people who voted for them they expected, and the only people that are sitting there supporting it still are people that absolutely hate, absolute hatred in their hearts. Like, we found you out, whether you're on the left or you're on the right. You're on the left side or right side of the aisle. We found all of you out. All you guys do is hate to hate. That's it. Just like the fella that I just showed you guys. What if I called you fat? Hate to hate. I didn't warrant it. I stood for something. I had an opinion. Hate to hate. These are the people, just a handful of them, that were standing up to ICE with their little pin on their little shirt, their little jacket. This one here. Hi, Miss Billy. By the way, I saw her in Hollywood. I was going to the Comedy Store one time. True story. I saw her in, off of Sunset. I was going towards the Comedy Store, and she was crossing the street with her boyfriend, or that weird white guy. She was crossing the street to a big, giant gated apartment building. So anyway, yeah, I saw her personally. So this lady won a Grammy. She started talking about nobody is illegal on stolen land, right? She did one of those. She has a restraining order against somebody who illegally entered her property. Nobody's illegal on stolen land. You see what I'm saying? The joke, the hypocrisy of it all. It's absolutely clown show ridiculous. The only person I believe actually that is passionate about this in like a real way is this guy, Bad Bunny. I don't know if I think he's Puerto Rican, so he's not an immigrant. He's an American. He's from Puerto Rico. He's an American, just like I am. So, but I can see why this is a very sensitive subject for him. I know, as most of us know, Bad Bunny is going to be doing the Super Bowl this weekend. It's split, just like everything else is usually split. Some people like him, some people don't. I don't hate him. He's a terrible actor because he has a terrible heavy accent, but he's trying, and his music's not bad. I don't have a problem with any of his music, to be honest. It's all right. You want to dance or whatnot. It's past my age. I'm well older than anybody who has any business listening to Bad Bunny's music. I don't go to the club, and I don't shake things on my body. So I don't know. But as a fella, I'm pretty sure he's a decent guy who actually passionately holds himself accountable to the things that he's saying, that he speaks of, and he speaks from the heart. And there's some people that you can tell they do that, and there's some that you can tell they do that because they're paid. Nobody is illegal on stolen land. Bad Bunny was like the only way to defeat hate is love. Now we've heard that on these podiums many times. The only way to defeat hate is to love. And it's a great message because it's a true message. The only way to defeat hate is love. That's the God honest truth. That's biblical. It's universal. It's like a rule of thumb. There's these two who don't give a shit about anything. So why they even have these on there is because somebody told her, the publicist said, put this on, and that was it. They don't give a fucking flying shit. We all know that. Come on, you guys. My point is, the reason why people are so quick to call somebody out of their name because they disagree with them, because they slightly disagree with them, because they just want to, is because these people are not to be taken seriously. You can't take somebody seriously who doesn't even see the fact that they're doing the exact things they are preaching about. You understand? Like the total hypocrisy and the disclosed delusion that they have around them, just that they just don't see it. The fella I had that little spat with on the YouTube, he didn't even see, didn't even realize how fucking stupid he looked and how kind of sad and exposed he looked. Oh, your channel's doing nothing. Yeah, I know. I just started it. There isn't a thing he could have said to me that would have been like, oh no, that's so devastating. Oh, I better stop doing YouTube now. Better quit. You know what I'm saying? My thing is, and again, this is just my tinfoil hat theory. This whole ICE thing that they wanted to push out in the Grammys, yes, it's all being high end. There's a lot of drama going on around it. There's lives that are being lost, which is the biggest reason why I agree. We're enough is enough. We don't need any more of this ICE bullshit. You guys are doing it wrong anyway. Nobody wanted this. Nobody asked for this. Get them out. Get them out. I don't want to be. I don't want to be stuck with the criminal immigrant who isn't going to contribute to society in my country. I'm not worried about anybody else. You're contributing to what's going on here. I don't care your orientation sexually. I don't care your status legally. None of that really matters to most Americans. When you're a good person who does good, decent work and you get a good, decent wage, nothing else should really matter. Nothing else should really be our business. When the government decides to make the pathway to citizenship a little bit easier, the way they make letting them get fucking driver's licenses easy. It's illegal to be here, but we'll give you a driver's license, no problem. It's fine. Make it make sense. You can't have it one way and then get mad at these people. Something else, something completely ordinary that every other citizen does, and then okay, well we got to stop you right here because yeah. Oh, you lived here for how long? Yeah, we got to take you. Oh, your family's here now. Well, you got to take you anyway. Sorry, guy. Make it make sense. None of I don't take any of it seriously. None of it. Because it doesn't make any sense. Nothing makes sense on one side with the left throwing themselves at vehicles, authoritative vehicles. Nothing makes sense on the other side with people still cheering this bullshit on. And yet here it is. Here it is. Here's the distraction right here. Everybody just cares so much about ICE. Guess what else happened during all this ICE bullshit? 300.5 million Epstein files were released. 300.5 million. Nobody talked about that. Trevor Noah made one joke about it. I'm going to share it with you now. One joke. Here it is.
Of the year. Congratulations, Billie Eilish. Wow. That is a Grammy that every artist wants. almost as much as Trump wants Greenland, which makes sense. I mean, because Epstein's island is gone, he needs a new one to hang out with Bill Clinton. So, oh, I told you it's my last year. What are you going to do about it? Song?
Oh, okay. First of all, the joke was stupid, and it's a ripoff of Ricky Gervais. Just so you guys are aware, it's a Ricky Gervais ripoff from the Golden Globes of 2020. Stupid joke, but he's not wrong, right? Like he's not wrong that Trump is in the files, and that's fine. That's fine. It is what it is for what it is. He did a Trump joke, wasn't very good. He's not very funny anyway. I don't think he could have pulled off many jokes, even if he tried. But that was it. There was no real focus. There was no real focus on any of these files coming out. Why? Because some of the people that were in the files, that were listed in the files that just came out this weekend, were performing. Were performing here at the Grammys. So why would they even want to bring it up? God forbid. God forbid. One of the ones that did perform, that was absolutely in the files, evidently so, was Post Malone. Post Malone did that awesome Ozzy Osbourne tribute, that awesome Black Sabbath tribute, and it was awesome. He did a really good job. I'm a huge fan. I am a huge fan. I can't lie. But okay. So let me show you. I found this tiny list of the people who are musicians who are in the files. Jay-Z, Pusha T, Drake, Post Malone, Eminem, Michael Jackson. These are the ones that I found personally. Those are the ones now I'm sure there's more. Those are just the ones that I found personally. Jay-Z, Pusha T, Drake, Post Malone, Eminem, Michael Jackson. So, okay, so the other one out of those is Post Malone that actually performed. I'm sure Lady Gaga's in there somewhere. I'm sure, you know what I mean? I'm sure there's other people that are in there somewhere. You know what I mean? The biggest one being Jay-Z. It's I don't think it's any coincidence that once that second batch of files was released, Jay-Z apparently left the country. Now that was confirmed. He did get on a private jet and he did leave before the Grammys. Now, whether that's related to the Epstein list or not is not confirmable. It's only speculation. I can tell you this, he does have the Super Bowl coming up next week, or this coming Sunday, I believe. And Rock Nation, I think, is heavily involved and heavily charged in the Super Bowl performances. So either he left to take a rest and relaxation, to revamp himself for the Super Bowl, or who knows. I'm not really interested in speculating as to why he left. It's just a funny coincidence that he left before the Grammys. He's boycotted them before. He's boycotted the Grammys a couple times, I think, because they didn't nominate the right artists, or they didn't nominate enough Black artists, or whatever the situation was. But so he has been a no-show before for those things. I'm excited for that. You're excited for what? The Super Bowl? I'm not, but I'll watch it. I'm gonna watch anyway, but yeah. Oh, I have to put this on there. Why do? Oh man, did I not put that one? Oh, I wanted to put up why do. There we go. This one. Yeah, there we go. So I'm playing too much. So that's the only joke that was made about the Epstein files that day. And I thought that was just a fun observation. Is they want to take this situation with ICE so seriously, but then these things come out, these very disgusting accusations and allegations come out, and we're not talking about it at all. There's no pin that says stop pedophilia. There's no pin that says stop human trafficking. And the ones that wear it, they're not around anymore. I have seen stop human trafficking once or twice on these people. And it's just a non-issue. It's just a non-issue, these Epstein files, for a lot of people. A lot of people on screen, not us. These are a big issue for most of us. Most of us steered in the wrong direction and voted for somebody we didn't want to because we were confident that they were going to put into fruition this idea that these files are going to come out without all the fucking redactions and that justice will be served for the victims and for the suspects. That all of these people are going to go down. We're waiting. We're still waiting. We're still waiting years. It's been well over 12 years since we've discovered that any of this really exists. And it's been a lot longer than that, to be honest. I'm almost done here. I think this episode's going to be a little short, but that's okay. There's one more thing, or there's a couple things I actually want to share with you before I actually close this episode. I gotta tell you guys, out of all these people that I was able to listen, again, like I said, there's much more. There's a hell of a lot more. There's one person that we have yet to see on this list. This guy. We have yet to see him on any list, but we also know his history. Everything about his history. He's crazy. He says crazy things. He's anti-Semite. He's gone nuts. He's gone off the wall. And he's done nothing but just speak. He's done nothing but talk. He's done nothing but say words. Words that people don't like. Words that make people really, really upset. Upset enough to do something about it. Upset enough. Oh, I'm so mad at you. I'm going to call you fat. Upset enough. Even worse for him. Nobody called him fat. He's hot. They just put him in an insane asylum. They just called him crazy. Do you guys remember that Simpsons episode where, gosh, what was it? I'm trying to remember. It was Homer gets abducted by the aliens. He gets abducted by Kronos and Kratos. I forgot their names. How did that slip? So he gets abducted by them. They tell him exactly what they're going to do. They tell him, hey, we're going to take over the world. We're going to transform our bodies and shapeshift into President Clinton and President nominee Bob Dole. They come down to Earth, and he's like, I'm going to tell everybody. And they're like, no one's going to believe you. So they douse him with rum. They douse him in alcohol. They dump him back to Earth. He wakes up. He passes out, and he wakes up on Earth, I think on a golf course or something. And he makes his way back home, all gross, all full of alcohol. And he tries to tell his family. And Bart, the first thing Bart says is, yeah, right, rummy. And he starts waving like he stinks. That's it. They just poured rum all over Kanye. It's like, yeah, so that everybody else on the planet can say, yeah, right. This guy's crazy. They did the same thing with Dave Chappelle. They did the same thing with Martin Lawrence. They did the same thing with Paul Mooney on a certain level. They did the same thing with a lot of good, prominent Black actors and musicians. They did the same with P. Diddy. The list goes on and on. They did the same with Michael Jackson. They tried to do the same with Prince. Prince was always like, he played chess, not checkers, which is pretty admirable. I'm sure they're doing the same with Lenny Kravitz, which is why he's still around, still alive and kicking, doing what he wants. He's tissue paper. He doesn't stand for anything. He doesn't stand for anything real. He doesn't stand for anything that we are standing for. Most of these artists don't. Even if they wanted to, we wouldn't know. Last thing I'm going to leave with you guys is this. I don't have the video for it. I was only able to get the audio, but this is Kanye. This is Kanye. I'll just leave it at that. Just listen to what he says. It's here somewhere. I was literally running into it all night. There it is. Okay. Oh, psych. All right.
If you take people like Jay-Z and fucking Pusha T, they made their living killing our people. So how the fuck they gonna stand up for our people? You know what I'm saying? But we forget that because we love Jay-Z's music so much. We love Pusha's music so much, right? But you think they would ever, oh, Beyonce had the best for somebody else?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You think they would ever tell the truth? No, if they told the truth about anything, they go to jail. You know what I'm saying? So you have liars.
Man.
Liars are now the face of our culture.
Liars are now the face of our culture. If they said the truth, they'd go to jail. There's this rapper, his name is Tory Lanez. He had to serve some time in jail for supposedly shooting at Megan Thee Stallion. What ended up happening is Tory Lanez denied. Hold on 1 second. There we go. Tory Lanez denied wanting to work with Jay-Z and that Jay-Z would own his music. You know what I mean? Jay-Z didn't like that. Tory Lanez did not want to work with Roc Nation. A few months later, this allegation comes out that he shot Megan Thee Stallion in the foot. It was mum. It was silent for a little while on that end until he said, I'm going to go talk. I'm going to go talk to the authorities. I'm not doing this. This is ridiculous. He was told, yeah, he's a cuckoo bird. Yeah, no, you're wrong. That wasn't my point. See, that's the thing, is everybody thinks he's crazy. Why? There's nothing crazy at all about what this man is saying. Not one bit. Especially the last clip I just shared with you. Because I'm about to tell you guys that Jay-Z is the reason why Tory Lanez ended up in jail. Straight up. Roc Nation went up to him and said, it would be in your best interest to not testify in that situation. It would be in your best interest to just keep your mouth shut. So what happened? Megan Thee Stallion ended up testifying. She said, oh yeah, that was him. He shot me. No more evidence needed. Go to jail. So he did. He ended up being locked up. I don't remember how long. But this is how these people play. This is how I think P. Diddy played a lot. This is how Jeffrey Epstein played with millions and millions of people. And it's been happening for years. It's been happening before Epstein. They were using somebody else. This just happens to be the guy that they're using now. But I just wanted to leave you guys with that. The Grammys were a mess. The Grammys were a hot mess. And that everybody was, we saw behind the curtain. Anybody who was watching, anybody who watched clips saw behind the curtain, saw behind the symbolisms and the ridiculousness behind it and the false virtue behind everything that they think they're standing for. They're not really standing for anything but themselves. And yet we sit here convinced at how smart they are, how great of people they are, and call the ones who are actually doing good, the ones who actually have some sense in them, crazy. Anyway, that was my take on the Grammys. That was my take on current situations in pop culture. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening to my rant. Don't go around calling people fat or faggot or, anything else. I do. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I do. I have gotten in my mood. They're not fun words. That's the whole point of them. If you say them in a way where it's funny and a joke, great. Good for you. You figured out a good way to be funny again with those words. But the truth is, there's nothing really funny about them. There's nothing inherently funny about any of those words whatsoever. You know what I mean? It has to be done cleverly. Do it right or don't do it at all. Be kind, rewind. I love you guys. I will see you guys Thursday. On Thursday, we'll be doing a top 5, my top 5, Tootie's, this guy, top 5 cartoons of all time. That includes cartoons from the 1920s all the way to now. Doesn't mean they're going to be all included, but I'm just saying it's my top 5 of all time. So like all time. You know what I mean? All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. Shout out to you guys for being here with me. Thank you. Anybody who watches afterward, if this is any of interest to you, do me a favor, leave a thumbs up. That's free to do. Also subscribe. That's also free to do. Also look at me, pause the video. Like that's also free to do. I'll do it again. Just pause it there for a little while. Leave it, screenshot it, use it as a screensaver. also free. Thank you guys once again. I will see you guys Thursday. You have a wonderful night.